Hello. In the last unit, we looked at the importance of voice and delivery in speaking and listening, and we found out that we are born with certain kinds of voices, and voices have certain stereotyped associations. Now we'll address the issue of how does one improve one's voice, which to a certain extent can be improved, and how does one work on one's delivery. In other words, how to improve your voice and delivery. As I said, we are born with certain kinds of voices, but there are certain things that we can do in order to improve the quality of our voices, such as posture. Now look at me. When I was speaking earlier, my voice sounded a little constricted. Why? Because I was leaning forward. The moment my posture is correct, the moment my ears are in straight line with my shoulder, you find that there's a distinctive difference in my voice quality. So this is to illustrate that even by minor changes like changing one's posture or changing one's breathing, one can improve the quality of one's voice. Let's begin with the checklist I shared with you in the last unit, the checklist on what kind of voice you have. You can improve on your voice only if you know what kind of voice you have and then start working on it. So first thing is volume. What is the kind of volume we have? Some of us have naturally loud voices and some of us have very soft voices. Now in my classes, the complaint against my classes from the beginning is because I have a very low voice is lectures are very good if they can be heard in the back row. So there's a genuine problem that I have a very low voice, and I must, if I don't have the microphone, I need to increase the volume of my voice so as to be able to reach the last row in the classroom. And we have these lecture halls which can seat up to 300 students. So you can imagine what kind of voice you must have to be able to reach the last row in these old-fashioned classrooms which did not have a public address system until recently. So your volume. Now on the other hand, some people have very loud voices, as people particularly who are not used to telephoning or to whom telephones were new in the past. Such people would tend to speak very loudly on the telephone, thinking that they can be heard better if they speak loudly. Now the person at the other end would get a jarring impression because they could almost hear the receiver go bang bang on their ears when the other person spoke. So you have to determine whether your voice is soft or too loud. You can't help it, but I said people form an impression about you based on if you have a if you speak in a very loud voice, people think you are very domineering. You might not be domineering, but people tend to think that you are domineering and you speak in a very loud voice. And if you are soft spoken, people think you are gentle. You may not be gentle at all, it's just the quality of your voice. So you need to check, can my voice be heard by the listeners facing me in the back of the room? Is my voice too loud, suggesting that I am self-centered and insecure with a poor self-image? So loudness can also mean lack of confidence instead of more confidence. Or is it balanced, suggesting that I am open with a good self-image? Is my voice volume right? Is it clear? Am I sending a message that I am confident? So how does one work on the volume? There's a very simple exercise which we do in the classroom, which I can share with you. So one way of increasing the volume of your voice is to project your voice. And how do you project your voice? By gradually calibrating your voice instead of increasing your volume suddenly, because if you do that, you sound as if you're shouting. Instead, what you need to do is gradually increase the volume. So let's do it together. Say, first we have to count pennies, and the first time you're counting pennies, I'm counting pennies, and only I can hear. So let's begin with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should be heard by the person in the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Third row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fifth row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You could try doing this exercise by yourself and see how if you have a soft voice like me, you can increase the volume of your voice by project your voice. Don't shout, project your voice. And if you want to learn a lesson from people who have perfected this art, travel in a local train. When you travel in a local train, you find these vendors, coffee vendors and tea vendors and cold drink vendors and snack vendors who enter the coupe and they start selling tea or coffee. Now, if you observe them, you would find that since their whole life, their earning depends on their ability to project their voice, how well they have mastered the art of projecting their voice. So, when the person who is selling tea comes close to you, he speaks softly, chai, 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 chai. But at the same time, he wants the person sitting 4 rows away from you to hear that he is on his way. So the second chai is louder, chai, 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 and the last row, chai, 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 chai. So the moment he's entered the train compartment, if he's next to you, you don't want him to be screaming into your ears. So he or she starts on a very low voice, but at the same time, he increases the volume gradually so that people in the middle of the compartment coupe can hear him and they can make up their mind whether they want to buy tea or not. And he also wants people in the last row to be prepared that the chai wala is on his way. So learn the art of using simple tricks to improve your voice and delivery by listening to ordinary people who have mastered it without going to a classroom or listening to lectures like this. Clarity, of course, one should speak clearly. And how do we lose clarity? We lose clarity for a number of reasons. If we tend to mumble, we don't say the words clearly, we mumble, or our speech is slurred in the sense that we don't enunciate each and every sound clearly. Our sounds are not clear, and as a result, there is no clarity in our voice. Finally, those of us who tend to speak very fast, it's possible that we miss what they are saying because they're speaking too fast and there's no clarity in what they're saying. So the second aspect is developing clarity. Pleasantness. How do we make sure that our voice is pleasant, sounding and relaxed? Does it send a professional positive message about my sense of self? How do I do this to make my voice pleasant? It has to do with breathing and relaxation. So if you will find that your posture, your breathing, if you are relaxed, all these little things count a lot when you want your voices to sound pleasant. So, as I showed you, that the moment I change my posture, you find that there is a difference in the voice quality itself. Similarly with breathing, if we don't pause for breath or if our breathing is not regulated, we tend to take short breaths, and in the process our voice comes out as in a rush. Instead of that, if we were to regulate our breathing and speak slowly after taking a deep breath and releasing the deep breath, we'll find that our voices sound very calm and composed. So regulate your breathing. Is my breathing natural? Does my voice sound breathy, making me seem nervous and shaky? Now, if you have certain problems, such as if you're asthmatic or you get breathless, of course then you can't help your breathing. but in other situations, just improving your breathing can improve the pleasantness of your voice. Is my voice high or rising or nasal? Do I sound as if I am angry, frightened or insecure? We said that the nasality is considered an unattractive quality in a voice. So, if your voice is very high pitched or you sound as if you are frightened, so you need to control your the highness or the rising quality in your voice or nasality in your voice. Does my voice sound hoarse, strident or tense? Am I sending a negative message to my listeners? You would find that some people, for various reasons, their voices sound very hoarse. They sound as if they are, you have a description of people saying he had a rasping voice. So the voice quality is not very attractive because it sounds as if it's rasping, it's hoarse. What can you do to improve the hoarseness in your voice? How does my voice sound warm or cold? What's it saying about how I feel about myself and my listeners? Variety. Does my voice have vocal variety? Do I sound expressive as if I'm interested in my listeners' reactions? What do we mean by vocal variety? By vocal variety means that we don't speak on a level tone. We keep varying the pitch, the volume and the pace. So, depending on, you would find that when you are excited, you tend to speak faster, your pitch changes. Whereas when you are calm, your pitch is level, you speak in a more moderate tone. But if we were to speak in the same tone throughout, it sounds so monotonous that people go to sleep. People don't feel like listening to you. What should you do to acquire vocal variety? Do I sound as if I'm interested in my listeners' reactions? Is my voice monotonous? So if one doesn't change the pitch, pause or emphasis, it sounds, not only does one sound bored oneself, but also makes others bored by listening to the person. And finally, as I said, voice, there's no such thing as a good voice or a bad voice. The voice should conform to the speaker's image of himself or herself. Now let me share some tips with you as to how to improve your voice. The first step to improving your voice is identify what is a good voice. First of all, you must know what is a good voice and what is not a good voice. So, I'd like to ask you, who in your opinion, give me some public figures, and who in your opinion has a good voice? Let's take a politician. Who in your opinion has a very good voice? And take a celebrity. It may be a cricketer, it may be another kind of sports person, it may be an actor, it may be a writer. Take any person and think of who you think has a good voice, who is an effective speaker. So, one can improve one's voice through systematic and persistence practice. 1, by listening to people who are good speakers, 2, by practice, and 3, by oral reading and rehearsing. Now, let's go step by step and see how one can improve one's voice. So, first of all, cultivate proper breathing. What do you mean by saying cultivate proper breathing? All of us breathe. If we didn't breathe, we wouldn't survive. So, obviously you know how to breathe. So, what is proper breathing? The problem with our breathing, that most of us do what is called chest breathing, shallow breathing. So, what we need to do is to be able to do deep breathing. What does deep breathing mean? Deep breathing means you should feel the muscles of you should feel your diaphragm. When you take a deep breath, take a deep breath. When you take a deep breath, release your breath. You release your breath, you should feel the muscles of your diaphragm contracting and expanding. So, put your hands on your ribs, put your hands on your lower ribs and take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Hold your breath up to a count of 10 and release your breath. You find if you touch, if your hands on your ribs, you can feel your diaphragm contracting and expanding as you take a deep breath and then you release your breath, right? So that's deep breathing, diaphragm breathing, as opposed to shallow chest breathing. If you do deep breathing, your voice quality automatically improves. However, it's not enough just to do deep breathing. One must also know how to regulate one's breathing. What is regulating one's breathing? That each time you breathe in and breathe out, there should be equal time between each breath. That is, you breathe in, hold your breath up to a count of 10, breathe out. Again, breathe in, hold your breath up to a count of 10 and breathe out slowly. Release your breath slowly. Keep doing it until you find a rhythm and your breathing becomes regular. So that's what is meant by regulating your breathing. Otherwise, what happens is we tend to take some short breaths, some long breaths, and when we speak, our breathing is not measured. It doesn't have a rhythm, and as a result, our speech also sounds jerky and not very calm and composed. Cultivate proper breathing. But as I said, before breathing, you must know how to correct your posture. The first step, in fact, even before breathing, is to correct your posture. And we go back to the old formula, the old recipe on correcting the posture, which we learned earlier in the unit on non-verbal communication. Good posture, to be able to breathe properly and to speak clearly, is to make sure that your ears are in line with your shoulders, and 2, your neck muscles are completely relaxed. If your neck muscles are completely relaxed, your posture will be relaxed. So your head, what you need to do is do some head rolls so that your neck muscles are relaxed. Do a few neck rolls before you start speaking. Secondly, do some shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders forward and backward until your shoulders are completely relaxed. So when your shoulders are relaxed, when your neck is relaxed, when your neck muscles are relaxed, you will find that your posture and your ears are in straight line with your shoulders. You will find that your voice quality immediately improves and your breathing also improves because your muscles are relaxed. Cultivate proper phonation. That's the next thing to be done. So you must cultivate proper phonation. What do we mean by phonation? What we mean by phonation is that some voices have a deep resonance. They have a resonance, whereas other voices sound very shallow. So how does one acquire a voice which has resonance? That's by proper phonation. By proper phonation, one means that all the chambers in your head, your skull, your nose, your lips, your face, they should all be cleared. And one simple way of doing this is to use the sound and to rotate that sound across your head and across your face, across your up to your nose, to be able to get best phonation. Have you ever wondered why in India we begin our day by chanting, and the first syllable with which we begin the chant is the primal syllable Om. In other cultures also we have other sounds which help to improve phonation, but in the Indian context, particularly in the Hindu context, we find that beginning the day with the syllable Om, the primal syllable Om, clears the chambers and helps us to acquire proper phonation. How does this happen? Let's practice it. So I'm going to do it. I'm not as good as yoga teachers who do it more efficiently, but I'll try to share with you what I have learned from them. So, let us begin with the sound Om, and we are going to rotate this, we are going to circulate this sound all over our skull and our face and take it back to practice phonation. So, let us begin with the sound Om. So, what did I do? I started with my lips, the sound, took it to my nose, forehead, head, and then brought it back. Try doing this to see how you can get proper phonation. You can cultivate proper phonation just by starting your day with the primal syllable. If you have, if you have any objections to using Hindu practices, you can start your sound you can start it by just using the sound You can substitute with it the sound Cultivate a pleasing and responsive voice quality. All of these things would help you cultivate a pleasing and responsive voice quality. Articulate properly. One of the reasons why your voice is not clear is because of the lack of proper articulation, and some of these are culturally acquired. In some cultures, there is an emphasis on the right enunciation of each sound. So, speakers of that language, those languages or speakers from those cultures tend to enunciate every sound clearly, so that when you listen to them, you can hear each and every sound very clearly. For example, in West Bengal where I live, I find speakers of Bengali language tend to generally articulate and enunciate each and every syllable, each and every sound extremely carefully and slowly. As a result, when they speak, whether they are speaking Bengali or whether speaking English, they tend to speak in a very clear fashion. Whereas, if one goes to the north, particularly parts of Punjab and Haryana and so on, speakers have the habit of swallowing vowels, because in these languages one doesn't have the, one tends to stress the second syllable and not the first syllable, and usually the sounds in the first syllable, the vowel sounds in this first syllable are usually said so fast as that one can almost not hear them. So, I have heard Punjabi speakers say, instead of Narayan, they would say Naran. They would swallow Na in the first syllable and Ra and Ya in the second syllable, and turn the sound, the word Narayan into Naran. Or the name Shakuntala, Kalidasa's heroine Shakuntala, if you swallow the first syllable, then it sounds like Shakuntala. So, that is lack of enunciation, lack of clear enunciation. If you want to articulate properly, you need to relax your facial muscles completely, and you will find that I hear this from a very well known trained classical singer, that when he was teaching music to somebody, he found that the students, when they were scared, they tended to tense one or other muscles. So, when they were asked to relax their facial muscles, they tended to tense up the muscles in their throat, or they tensed up the muscles in their shoulder, and as a result the voice quality was not correct, nor was the singing full throated. So, the first thing he would tell his students is to relax their muscles, relax all their muscles, neck muscles, shoulder muscles, hands, not have tension in any part of the body, whether it's hand, face. Usually when we want to hide the tension in our face, we tend to take the tension to our hands and clench our hands, clench our fists. So, relax all your muscles and particularly your facial muscles, then you will be able to articulate clearly. So, when you speak, speak in a manner that your voice, your jaw is almost, let your jaw drop until almost falls off. So, let us practice the sound Bob, and you will keep on saying the voice till your facial muscles are completely relaxed. Open your mouth and keep on saying it. Bob, 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 Bob. So, you need to do these simple exercises to improve your articulation by relaxing your facial muscles. Cultivate control of loudness. I have already practiced that with you by showing how you can count pennies to yourself and then count pennies to somebody who is a little further away from you, then somebody who is very far away from you, say someone who is 2 feet away, someone who is 4 feet away, someone who is 8 feet away, and this is the way you learn to project your voice and not shout. Control your speech rate. How do you control your speech rate? Some of us speak very fast and some of us speak very slow. So, when we speak very fast, our listeners are not able to make out what we are saying, and some of us speak so slow that the listeners get bored, they switch off even before we have completed our sentence. The listener is so bored that they do not want to listen to us. What is the correct rate of speech? About 125 words a minute is the ideal pace. If you speak about 125 words a minute, that is all right. So, control your speech rate. If you speak too fast, learn to speak slowly. If you speak very slow, learn to speak a little faster. Develop satisfactory pitch control. Remember, when we were looking at voice qualities and stereotyped associations of voice, we said if you have a high pitched voice, it makes you sound immature, it makes you sound tense, highly strung. So, people who tend to speak with high pitched voices, they come across as highly strung, as immature, as unprofessional, especially women who tend to have more high pitched voices as compared to men. If they speak in the normal voice, in the voice they use in their everyday speech in the workplace, they might come across as immature. So, professional women take care to lower their pitch, not to speak in a normal in the high pitch associated with women in general and which sounds very feminine. They tend to control their pitch and to speak on a lower pitch so that their voices sound flat and carry more authority. So, crucial factors in delivery are articulation, variation of pace, volume and pitch, use of pause, avoidance of non-words, phonetics, control of rhythm and intonation. In the next unit, I will introduce you to the sounds of English, to English phonetics, and show you how to improve your delivery. We stop here with how to improve voice.